For this brief tutorial, what we're going to look at is going beyond the simple shapes of creating a vector. As you notice, we've gone and we have created the large circles of the body, also the eyes, and kind of played around with making the ears and tail of this dog. But what we're going to do is we're going to go beyond using simple shapes. So today what we're going to do is we're going to look at trying to create these strangely shaped feet, including the lines, and we're going to go beyond just shapes, and this time we're going to choose what is called a curve line. So basically we're going to do this right here. We're going to choose a curve, and to make sure we zoom in and copy this foot really well, click on the zoom tab, put it up to about a 200 where you can really focus on the finest details. And if you notice, what we're going to do is we're going to pick a point to start, and as I go around this shape, you're going to hear me clicking numerous times. As I'm clicking this, clicking the shape of this foot, every time I come to the smallest turn, I want to click it so that basically I'm creating the best example, or I guess you'd say the best template of this dog's foot. Now this will not be perfect, but notice whenever I return to the start point, it will become an absolute shape that can be filled by color. So now we have created this dog paw, and if you notice, we have two dog paws that are identical. So what we want to do, the first thing, we'll move it to the side, and we're going to try to create a simple color, just like what we did with our copy dog here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it with a dark brown color that will hopefully match our other dog. We also want to increase the lines so we can actually see the lines of the foot. So I'm going to give the border weight, move it up to a 4, and also give the border weight a color, and we're going to give it black so it actually matches our other dog. And if you notice, it may look like it's a little shaky in places. If you need to make some changes, you double click and it brings about all these little click points where you can round out your edges to make them look more like the original shape. And when you're satisfied, just simply click back on it. Now we need to get the little marks to actually match the marks on this. So basically what I will do, I will simply choose a line, because I don't need anything to be just basically a fill shape. So I'm going to use a scribble, and I'm just simply going to trace that line. I'm going to increase that line weight to a 4, and we'll move it over here. Find my little shape. Here it is. Move my little shape over to the dog's foot. We'll do the same thing for the next one. We're basically going to copy that line. I'm going to go scribble. I'm going to take it down the little dog's toe here. Move him over to where I think it needs to be. And this do the final one. And if you notice, these feet are pretty much identical. So once I create one, I don't have to recreate. Now what I can do is I obviously need to increase the line weight to a 4 on this one. I also need to make sure I give the line a color. I need to increase the line weight on this one. I need to give it a color. Now we've created a basic foot for our dog. And what I'm going to do, since I know that I need 2 of these, I'm going to group this piece together because I don't want the pieces to move around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply group this together. And it's going to I'm going to move this piece over to the side to where it's not going to interfere with anything at all. We notice that basically if I move this piece, it loses the other parts. Do not want that to happen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my original zoom. I'm going to move each of these pieces down here to where they're not going to interfere with any of the other dogs. I'm going to move my parts down. I move all my little scribbles down. And we don't want to have to keep moving these scribbles. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called group these pieces. I'm going to take my cursor and I'm going to highlight the entire part. I'm going to right click. It brings up the option to do what's called group. Once I've grouped that, I can move that part, and now it basically does not fall apart. So now I have this little piece. I'm going to Control C, Control V, that's copy paste. And now I have created my 2 paws that are basically not using simple shapes, but instead using lines. So if you take your time, zoom in, increase your line size, and give it a color, you can create any shape on a vector image.